Okay, so now I'm fully back. No disturbance. Thank you. Um, Somebody is asking if he's in the right class. Yes, you are in the right class. I think is it? Mr. Ajiman. Yes. So I'm going to take you through microeconomics. Sure. Um, Basically, what I'll be doing is we would go through some very fundamentals and then we will jump into the real nitty-gritties of it. I want to know, before we do the introduction and then any other thing else, can you show by hand if you've ever done anything economics? Anything economics? Is there anybody online who has done anything economics? Microeconomics and business. Okay, so I've seen Enoch say yes. Yes. Veronica is also online. That's nice to see a female join. So Isaac is also saying yes. Thank you. Um, Tremantin Anson is also saying yes. Okay, good, beautiful. So I see a lot of I see about 3 years. Okay, that's not bad. So we're going to take you from that tangent, right? And then we'll move up the ladder a little bit. First, I would like to, if you permit me, this course has always been taught by myself and Dr. Sikayana. So I would like to share a bit of the course outline. I won't dwell so much of the course outline because it will be shared to you. Um, you would have the course outline. So it's a graduate study course. And these are the descriptions: micro theory, emphasis, analytical tools, and mathematical modeling, and to understand individual and firm behavior, as well as the market structures. We'll look at consumer theory, market equilibrium, information economics. I'll do briefly information economics because you would have a course with Madam Ofebia, right, who will take you through, I think, the information economics. Is it Madam Ofebia or Dr. Lilianaka? One of them. They will do there's a whole course on information economics because that's the thing now in most economic analysis. Moral hazard, adverse selection, and what goes on. So that's one. So basically, this is what you'll be doing, but I will take you through optimization preferences, then the duality, expenditure minimization, and then the indirect utilities. I'll look at the theory. Then I'll come back here and look at all this, a bit of welfare economics, the Pareto theory, and then the game theory, which is now the ish now. We believe that actors in an industry behave like people playing a game. So if you have a good market, what happens is there's always price cutting and then there is dominancy. And you can see that a lot in the telcos industry. So we might do a bit of the game theory, but there's also a detail of it in, I think, information and mechanisms and design. You get a lot of it. And please pay attention when they are teaching you because that's what is happening in the global industry. OPEC and other things, they behave like they are playing games with each other. And there's undercutting here and there. We'll come back and look at market failure and externalities, and then we'll look at the final exams. This is how the distribution is going to be like. There's going to be a midterm 25%. That's when we have the face-to-face. I'll give you problem sets and assignment. You will do group presentation. Usually, sometimes I skip the group presentation, and then I give marks for participation. So if I skip the group presentation, I'll add it to the problem set and assignment. Of course, I will still have to work on the final exams, whether I can still maintain my 40% for final exams or otherwise. So if I do further inquiries and then I'm told that I can still maintain my 40% for final exams, it means that for you to pass, you have to be active in the class. So please pay attention. These books, I'll give you most of the books that you need. So basically, this is the course, and let's just a short and a brief intro into the course outline. Any question before I move to on? Any question? Okay. I can't see any hand or anything, so no question. First, let's introduce ourselves again. Let's introduce ourselves. And then based on that, I would want you to also elect your class rep. At least if this is the first time you are meeting, you can equally elect a class rep. I know you have a common platform. I would also like to create a platform that we can add all of you together, right? The previous students who were on the program and everything, because we started this program, it's not even a year. Well, it's not been a year, so we can add everybody onto a common platform. And then based on the announcements we give, and then based on other opportunities that come, we can just put it on the platform and everybody has access to it. And then we'll move from there. So that said, what is my name? Yes, you know my title as Prof, but my name is Richard Kofi Asravor. I am currently the head of department for now. My office is in the is on the business campus. So I'm always on the business campus most often. Just give me a call if you want to see me. I'll be available. I can tell you when I'm available. For instance, this week I have 2 weeks which is packed. Tuesday this week I would be on campus throughout because there's matriculation going on. Thursday. Okay, so let me let me raise my voice. I thought maybe because today is 14th, and then I'm being very romantic, right? Happy vows to all of you. So I was saying that usually my office hours, weekdays, I'm available most weekdays. Um, Tuesday this week is out for me. Thursday will be out for me because Thursday I have a faculty board meeting, so it will be out for me. But apart from that, the rest of the days I am available. Just give me a call and I'll tell you when to show up because the mainstream is on having their vacation, so I'm a bit less busy with that. Less busy. So that is it about me. If you want to know where I stay at Community 25, the Wenya Road, very far. So probably always the first person to be, and sometimes always the last person to leave because of traffic, of course. So basically that is it. My area of specialization is micro-related analysis. I do more of general economics as well as a lot of agriculture-related economics issues because I believe that most of the things we are experiencing in agriculture, our stronghold is in the agriculture sector. So if we build the agriculture sector and link it up to industry, we can grow the Ghanaian economy. And I also believe that one of the key things is efficiency within the sector. There's so much waste in the agriculture sector. So much, so much, so much, so much. Sometimes when I look at the index and I see a lot of analysis saying we are food insecure, I'm just like, wow. The farm gate loss alone can feed Ghana for 3 months. So that is just by the way. I get a bit hysterical and emotional when I look at agriculture issues. And I do general economics as well. So general industrial economics. Most of them are micro related. So that's basically about me. Let's take it one after the other. Probably you introduce yourself, where you stay, what work you do, and then we'll move on. Let me start with, I can see Gideon. I say, Gideon, would you want to introduce? If where you are is noisy, just let me know, right? You can just say it's noisy, so you wouldn't want to, you can't talk
Okay,
about it.
Prof.
Yes, please.
Okay, Prof. Yeah, so my name is Gideon Osei.
Yes, please.
Currently in Accra here. I first did my MSc Project Management at KNUST, and currently I'm not working.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any future plans of being in academia? No, academia, there's no money. So, Gideon, you don't like academia?
It's not like that. Yeah, so I actually wanted to do this economics. After that, I'll do MPhil in economics.
Okay. And then you do a
Yes,
PhD.
please.
You have to do a PhD so that you
Yes,
can
sir.
talk. So basically, what I also do is sometimes I get a call for scholarships and other things, and then we put it out there, right? And especially those who want
Okay,
to do
okay, Prof.
PhD as well. When we get the call, we can.
Okay. So
Then
basically, actually, we will link up and have a lot of discussion, Prof.
yes, 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 Gideon. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Isaac.
Yeah, Prof.
Yes, Isaac.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning, Isaac.
Yeah, so my name is Isaac Jikun, and I live at Accra, Tabora.
Oh, okay, Elijah.
Yeah, and I'm with UBA.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm currently with the Treasury Operations team. And yeah, I think basically that's about me.
That's it.
I'm
Okay.
actually yes, I'm actually married with two kids.
That's nice.
Yeah, so
We are
that's
taking the vows day out of the name. Sorry
they
about that.
actually they are still asleep and I'm in the hall. So
Aha, wait till they wake up. We can't speak again. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you. Nene, Nene Botri, Mister.
Yeah, sure. Good morning to everyone. My name is Nene Buchi. I'm an agric economist. I
That's
live in
nice.
Kaswa, but I work in Mahoney Valley. So, Prof, I'm an agriculture just like you. I'm currently an agric extension officer at Mahoney Valley.
Okay, that's great. So then I will have to link up whenever I need data and people to go on the field for me.
Yes, no problem, sir.
Okay, good, 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 good. I have a friend on Facebook called Nene. Nene, something I've forgotten. So I thought he was the one. Eric Odru, Mensa, Mister.
Can you hear me? Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Senior.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, my name is Eric Odromens. I live at Amasaman Kuntunse. Okay, I'm an accountant and um, I'm in the energy industry, preferably working with VRA. I'm to energy billing and other stuff. And so basically, that's about me. So I'm here to learn economics for the first time because of the energy billing, receivable things I do, and the tariff things. So that's why I'm here to learn economics. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's beautiful. You meet Dr. Ankara. I think he will teach you local energy solution and something. He's the energy expert. Yeah, you meet him, Dr. Ankara. As you can. Very nice gentleman. No problem. Okay, so thank you, Eric. Then there is another Eric Kajiman.
Good morning, Prof. and
Good
fellow
morning.
colleagues. My name is Eric Ajamai. I'm married with 3 kids. I'm, I am an electrical engineer by profession. I work with the Electricity Company of Ghana, currently working as the Revenue Protection Manager, Western Region. Although I'm in the Western Region, my family is in Accra, so I do come to Accra.
Hey,
So that's a little bit about
Eric, you're a runaway
Thank
father.
you. Yes,
Hmm.
is a
You're a runaway father, eh?
Oh, but I do want to come almost every weekend. It's stressful, but I manage. Yeah, yeah. I used to be in the Eastern region. I just went to Western region for about 1 year now.
Wow.
So
So there's
I'm managing.
that's good. We're trying to work on a paper that look at family mobility and family
Oh, okay.
union and how that influenced the household decision making process. And it's interesting when you start
Oh,
analyzing some of the data, you realize that the world of
okay.
work is really taking away a lot of family bonding. So the wife is
Yeah,
posted. It's a nice thing. Okay.
hello.
Yes, please. Eric.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
My network went off, but
Okay, I was saying we were looking at there's a paper we are working on. Looks at family bonding,
oh,
family
okay.
using, and the world of work. And you'll notice that
Mm,
work is, I won't say it's disintegrating a lot of family, but it's making families, people become single parents in disguise. And it's influencing the decision making.
mm,
So you see that you're married, your wife
yeah,
does a
right.
different work and he has to be transferred, especially those in the public service. And a whole new camp. So there's opportunity
Yeah.
because whether to go or to look for a different job or something. Then the economic realities of it, what is of the cost. We're trying, there's a paper
Mm,
like that that we've been working on for a while. And
okay.
it's one of those,
Mm,
maybe that will motivate us to want to finish that paper and then get it out. Enoch.
sure.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
Thank
Yeah. Enoch.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning, Enoch. Beku. I hope I got it right.
No, it's Peku,
Beku.
P-E-C-K.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So I worked with Smith
Okay.
as operations data officer,
Hmm.
and I have a background in economics and mathematics
Beautiful.
from University of Cape Coast.
Okay. Okay. So
And
that's
then
nice.
I have an MPhil in industrial finance and investment from K University.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I live at
You live at, I think, it's fine. It's,
so that's it
okay.
about me.
Okay. We didn't get where you live at. So,
I, I don't speak this with my
oh,
family.
Smithers. Eric, yeah,
Married
you're
with
in town.
yes, yes,
You're
sir.
in town. All of you don't live further than I do. I think that
Yes, sir.
I'm the one who live further. Okay. Let me see. Is it Moses? Moses
Yes,
Sherman Anson.
Chairman
Yes,
Ting.
Moses.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Okay, Chairman Ting, yes. Chairman Ting
Uh,
Anson.
my name is Moses Chairman Ting Anson. Yeah. I work with Ghana Ghana Water I've been here for 5 years. I did my first degree in information technology in Ghana Telecom, Ghana Technology, Communication Technology University. Now, GCTU. It used to be GTUs, yeah. And I'm the head of IT for my branch as Asma Production.
Okay. Beautiful.
I live at Tantra Hill.
You live at?
Tantra Hill.
Oh, you are in town. All of you are
Yeah.
in town.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
beautiful.
right.
I think everybody has done the introduction. And guys, believe me, I'm super happy to be your tutor for this course. And what we are going to do is nothing but what you already know. And what we are going to do is to take you through economics and then how economics integrate with informatics. So I will start with the basic unit of economics. That is the micro level. Yes, there's a lady. The lady left. Where is the lady? The lady joined and went off. That's how come I couldn't mention her name. We used to be 11. I think some have network challenge. So that's how come I didn't mention her name. Thank you for that reminder. It was Veronica. But I think she dropped out. She dropped out. So, thanks for that. I think when she comes online, we would add her. We would listen to that beautiful introduction. Okay, so happy vows to you all. And then I wish I would have met you. I have some chocolates in the house that I'll be once I go out, I'll share some to my neighbors. Just to expression of love. So let's
Please
start.
reserve for us.
Yeah, I should reserve it for you. But the next time we'll meet will be somewhere. Okay, I'll remember once I keep it in mind. So that when we meet, I can bring the chocolates. So the last time I had a class like this, it was quite interactive. And I know this class is going to be very interactive. I am going to start on a little base, on a simple notice. And that is when we say everything, you see in your SIM, we used to have a micro SIM. Now it's a nano SIM, right? So when we say micro, smaller unit, so that's where we are going to start with. And just as they say, every smaller unit will begin with something called money. So we will start with the theory of consumer behavior, but I'll start with the first thing is budget set. I heard people say they are budget officers and whatnot and whatnot. So let's start. As a budget officer, what do you do? Is it Eric I heard say he's a budget officer? One of the Eric is a budget officer, right? Or it's not the Eric. Budget. When we say budget, what do you mean? What do we do? Okay, let's move on. So we'll start with the budget set. And in economics, yesterday I was at the orientation of the first years and I told them that economics begins with rational weighting. we assume that everybody is rational, or we assume that consumers are rational. And our assumption of rationality, just hold on, where's my, and we need to pick my pencil, my pen. Our assumption of rationality is based on what we call two main fundamental stuff. The first is based on your budget and based on your preference. Budget, because we assume that every individual will choose bundles of goods that he or she can buy, given his or her income. Let's take it again. You are having a budget set because you want to choose a bundle that you can buy, given your income. Then again, your preference influences the choices you make. For example, if I don't take fufu and you put banku and fufu, I will always go in for banku. If I have different sets, I can rank them and say, I prefer A to B to C. And for those who have children, the preference can even be seen. The ladies will tell you, I prefer a pink dress. So when you have blue, green, whatever, indigo, whatever dress, they will always go in for the pink. Then after pink, they will say, I want this. They have preferences. So our choice of rationality as a consumer is based on two main things. And that is what we have said. Again, in this world, you have so many things that you want, you are available. My good friends, if I ask you to mention them, you have so many. But again, remember, it is not all that is feasible. So in economics, we distinguish between your wants and your need. In fact, I want to buy a Tesla. Is it a need? No. So because of that, we look out for the feasible set of consumption bundles. And that is the different combinations, right, of goods that the consumer is considering buying, given the amount and its income available. So typically, you will see me write X1, X2, X3, etc., etc. X1, X2 can be a set of goods. For example, it can be foodstuff, wachi for X1, fufu for X2, gobe for X3. I mean, those are. So they can be various set of goods. And as individuals in real life, we have various set of goods that we are faced with. And these bundles, ladies and gentlemen, influences our choice. So if the ladies go to the shopping mall, they have a shopping list. Okay, this one 2 cedi, this one 3 cedi, this one 4 cedi. Or if you are going to buy something for your kids, you have your shopping list and you are faced with income that you have. So, or the amount that you want to spend. So these are bundles. But in this class, what we are going to focus on is only two bundles for simplicity. So for example, if I give you A, just as is here, 1, 2, it means I want 1 unit of X1 2 units of what? X2. If I do B like this, 3, 4. I want 3 units of X1, 4 units of what? X2. Remember, I'm just saying that is X1, comma, X2. So if I have 3, 4, it means this directly means X1. This directly means X2. Is everybody with me? Please, are you with me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Don't worry, it is not going to be mathematical. Remember when you were in JHS, you draw the line of a slope. That triangle you see in its simplest form is what we call the budget line. The triangle you have here, I think this is the hypotenuse, right? Those days, if you remember, then the opposite and then the adjacent. I hope you remember all that. This
Yes.
here is a line, and we call it the budget line. This one, where I'm whipping, is a budget line. This is the limit to which you can buy from two goods. Remember, in those days, they'll say this is X1, this is X2, or X, will be X, this is Y, those days. Right. Now look at this carefully. I have two goods. Have an income. Let's say I have 100 cedis. I want to buy two goods. X1 is maybe a pen. X2 is maybe maybe a pencil. Maybe a pen cost maybe 10 cedi. Let me just say maybe 10 cedi. Just hypothetically. A pencil costs 5 cedi. I would look for a combination of pen and pencil that will be equal to, when I buy, will give me 100 Ghana cedis. So the question is, how do I combine this? I would say 10 times X1 plus 5 times what? X2 should be equal to my 100 Ghana. With this, ten plus X1 plus 5 plus X2 should give me 100 Ghana. This is what we refer to as your budget value. In other words, if I assume the 10 cedi to be P1, if I assume the 5 cedi to be P2, then my budget line is just P1 X1 plus P2 X2 should give me, let's make my income M, as has been written here. Please, if I'm moving fast, just let me know so that I slow down. And this is the whole fundamental of household budgeting and household income allocation. Here, we are making an assumption, ceteris paribus, that there's no savings. We'll come and introduce savings. We'll come and do buy one, get one free. We'll come and do all those assumptions and how that influences household decision. So look at this carefully. Ladies and gentlemen, I know the notes you have read. Price and income, M is constant. They do not vary with X and Y. The budget set, the area under the triangle covered by the triangle is called the budget set. I know you are reading, so I'm not going to, I want you to understand it. So if this, I can ask you to make X1 the subject and then X2 the subject. And then you will get this here. You will also get this here. And then we'll get the slope. Any question before I move on? Any question before I move on, please? And please, I'll let you have this material as well, so don't worry. Now, with this, remember the assumptions we have made. Everything is normal. Everything is normal until one day you go to the market and you realize that the price has increased. What happens to your budget? If the price increases and you used to buy 10 CD worth of a product, and you used to buy 10 CD worth of a product, can you still buy? Oh, you can't see the material you are speaking to. Please, can you all see the material I'm speaking to?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay,
I'm
then
looking
I
at budget line, effect of price increase.
okay, but then I was saying he couldn't see. So, to be on the safer side, let me reshare my screen again. Let me go back. Share. Let me zoom it. See. Nene, please, can you see? Another good thing I would do is to send you the material. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Now you can see. Thank you very much. Okay, let me. Beautiful. So let's move. So we're somewhere here. You go to the market and then the price has increased. I used to buy things here. 5, 4. Based on the price. This is my X2. This is my X1. The price of X1 has increased. What am I going to do? I still want to have my X2 unchanged. So if the price of maybe pencil has increased, I still want to maintain 5 pen. What I'll do is I'll reduce the number of the price. Oh, let me just say it again. The price of pen has not changed, but the price of pencil has gone up. What am I going to do? I still want to maintain the pen, so I reduce the number of pencil I buy. So you see that the line will shift inside. That's how come I'm doing the theory so that you would later, when we do the calculation, you understand. So you will read, and as you read on the slide, you see P1 increase to P1 prime. Your budget set becomes smaller, and then budget line gets what? Steeper. That's how come this way. Remember, the rational consumer is going to say, I want to be on the same tangent. I want to be on the same tangent. I reduce the consumption of what has increased. We are assuming that the goods are all normal goods. I'll come back and explain what a normal good is, what an inferior good is, what a given good is. All that will come and explain. So that you understand that as a rational economic individual, when you are making your decisions, you are influenced by the budgeting system you have and your desire for the goods in question. Sometimes you look at the craze for certain things and you say, what is wrong with this generation? What is wrong with the people? To them, that good might be a normal good. To them, that might be a necessity. To them, that might be a luxury. To them, it's a different good. Even every individual has his or her own unique characteristic and peculiarity when it comes to goods. But we'll make a general assumption. But what if there is an increase in your income? What will happen? Now, you see, I have decided to withhold savings and investment and all that. Let's make rationality. When you do macroeconomics later, you will do the marginal propensity to save, marginal propensity to consume. You will link it up to the whole national set. But the nation is built on the smaller units. So we start with the smaller unit. That's the micro level analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, if goods, the prices of the goods have not increased, but your income has increased, and you assume that the goods that you were buying are goods that you like, there's always a tendency that whenever your income increases, you spend more. Remember, some people spend, even if you're a government worker and every end of year, the tripartite announces that income, they are increasing the base pay by 9%. Sometimes people even do not notice that there has been a change in their salary. But what happens is that your consumption will also go up. So we say it is what? A parallel shift. Parallel shift outwards. So that's why you see the arrow. What if it was a COVID period and government did not have money? And all of us were asked to have haircuts. So a government reduces our income. Then the shift is not going to be outward. The shift is going to be inward. So here you are forced to reduce your consumption. If you remember, during the COVID time, where there was restriction on movement left, right, center, what you notice is that people were not spending that much because you were not getting the overtime and all those things you get from work, and you are not able to do back. So your consumption decreased. And this is a rational consumer behavior. So whenever income increases, we spend a proportion of the income increase consuming goods and services. For some, they spend almost all, but economists believe that you spend proportions. Usually a higher proportion based on your marginal propensity to consume, which you can easily calculate. So the same thing here, what if an increase in income, and look at the change. This here, whenever you see a triangle sign, it's the same as a change. So what am I saying? If this is my old income, M1, M1 is my old income, the amount that I was spending last year. Let's assume last year, my income was maybe 2,000. Government says that through tripartite, they are going to give me 10% increment. The 10% of 2,000 for my maybe basic is what? 200. This is my old. This is the change. What will be my new income? And 2. What do you think the new income will be?
2,200.
2,002. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Isaac, you have seen your message, 2,200. Thank you. So look at this. You see, this here is my old income, what I call M1, plus my change to give me M. That is why you can see something like this. It is over P because of the ratio. Here we are looking at the ratio. We'll come and do all those calculations later. And over M. So you see that the change is always factored in. What are we seeing? What is the economic intuition behind it? And just as one of my old professors said, Professor Vanya, he will tell you that the economists became distracted when mathematicians and statisticians decided to do economics. But look at this carefully. We are saying that if you are a rational human being, when your income increases, you tend to spend more on the commodity. I'll give you a typical example. How many of us still eat at the places that we used to eat when we were students? Very few. The woman selling wachi by the gutter, you will not want to go there again. Levels don't change. If levels change, will you still buy the wachi at the woman at the gutter? You prefer to go to a restaurant. Or let's say you move from that woman and you go to a chopper. Then as your income increases a bit further, a notch higher, you move from the chopper to a restaurant. Are you getting the progression? At each level, you are spending more. True or false? Isaac again says true. I read the messages. I try to combine. Good. From sachet water to bottled water. Very good, Isaac. Levels don't change. In fact, I'll tell you my experience with my students, undergrad students. When they buy bottle, when it's early semester, first week in the semester, they will buy, you see them will be having bottled water. They will buy bottled water and they go and buy food. Later on, getting to the middle, getting 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the semester, or let's say 2 weeks into the semester, they do what we call refill. So they have this sachet bottled water. They buy the sachet and then they'll be pouring it inside. Whenever your income increases, ladies and gentlemen, as a rational economic human being or rational consumer, you tend to spend more of that income on consumption, though you save some, if any. So that is how it is. And that is what we have been trying to explain all this one. But we are not only interested in you spending, we are interested in the magnitude. That is how come the mathematics comes in. We are interested in the magnitude. If it was there with economics alone, theory you can write, but what is the magnitude of whatever you spend? Right. When income rises, there will be a parallel. Of course, I've talked about that. And then the next thing is, what if one of the prices, say P1 rises? And I've tried to explain that when one rises, what do you see? Price has increased. So you see that there's always a change in. And I said that when price increase, what you see that that particular good becomes expensive. So you reduce the consumption. And I'm going to give you a typical example. With you giving your income, if you used to eat in a good restaurant and you go and the woman says that everything has increased, you tend to say, okay, I still want to eat there. But this time, I can't buy the quantity in which I want. Or I can't get the quantity that I always get from the initial price. That is all we are saying. Remember, we are making the argument with respect to X1, X2, which is the quantity, not the price. We are saying that if the price of one good increases, ladies and gentlemen, though you are buying the same price, maybe you buy 10 cedi and the rest, the quantity of the watch you get will reduce, whether you like it or not. If you used to buy, I said, if you want the same quantity, you must increase the amount you devote towards that quantity, or you must increase, yes, the amount you devote towards buying of that particular product. Please and please take note of that. And of course, that is what has been explained here. I usually do not want to read. Reading is for you to read. Mine is for you. Mine is to make you understand the concept. So look at it. Somebody asked a very good question. What if my income rises and the price also rises too? Nice question, Gideon. We'll get there. We are going to treat that one also. So I wouldn't want to go further. We'll look at those simultaneous increase. Thank you very much. That's a very good question. It means you are paying attention. And look at this. So remember, as individuals, we behave rational, and that rationality is what we take through everything we do. even in the procurement processes. So if you go to an organization where people are producing the same ceteris paribus, the same quality of goods, and one has a higher bid and one has a lower bid for the same quality, quantity, and everything, and you go in for the higher bid, then you are not rational. It's not an insult, but that's what economics assume. It means you are not behaving rationally. Because if the quality and quantity are the same, why would you go for the higher price? So let's split volumes. And that is how we have to translate it into the national discourse. So we want to do macro, it will move you from micro, aggregate all the micro to become macro. And that's what you might do later. Good. But again, Gideon was the question, we'll be coming to it. And that is where I begin to introduce it. All the assumptions I've been making, ladies and gentlemen, is based on the assumption that prices are fixed. What if we vary the price? Think about it. What if prices vary depending on the quantity bought? What if income increases and simultaneously there's a price increase or decrease? How would the graph look like? How would the agreements be? So in real life, we have some of these things coming up. What if there's food rationing? There's hunger. Governments need to ration food so that everybody will get something. What if there is what we call a bulk discount? What if there is an overtime wage? So you are making more money. What about payroll and income tax? What if you are borrowing at different interest rates or saving at different interest rates? These are questions that we face in everyday life. And economists are not oblivious of that fact. Economics know all these things are bound to happen. Because our world is not static, our world is dynamic. So we'll take each and every one of them and begin to analyze. So that if we are analyzing, ladies and gentlemen, we would come to understand it better. Please, can I move on? Is there any need for explanation? Any need for explanation, or I can move on? If you can't talk, please use the message and then let me read the message so that I know. Okay, so let's start with rationing. When do we do rationing? And what is rationing? A typical example is wartime food rationing. Or there's drought. And there's food rationing. What about the mobile phone talk time rates? And I do it there. What? 60, you buy something, they give you 60 minutes free talk time. What about, okay, free after 1? Yes, that's what they call it. What about midnight bundles? Okay, somebody else giving me a good message. It's called mashup. Yes, mashup. Yes, good. Thank you, Gideon. What about happy hour perhaps? Off-peak senior citizen free bus travels. This happens in the US and other places in Europe. And when you are a student outside, usually they have the student ticket. It's a fixed ticket you buy, and then you can use the bus service, which is cheaper than all others. Right. So these are things that we are going to look at. We might look at some, not all. An example of ration. Let's look at your income. Government will say, or the authorities that be will saying, if there is going to be a ration, we can say, in order not for Mr. A to amass all the food, we will say that for the price of maybe rice, we are going to do quantity rationing and say, if you buy up to 800 units or 80 bags or 80 kilogram, you will pay 1 cedi. Anything after 80, you pay what? 4 cedi. Have you seen the logic? Government is trying to prevent an individual from buying all and harboring it. And then he will thereafter, the individual will sell it, be making profit. Because government knows that maybe rice is in short supply. Then you say, okay, sugar, regardless of the quantity, but it's still is 4 cedis. Think about it for a second. Sugar has not changed. This is the same. But rice, government is saying, if you buy up to 80 kilogram, I mean, you pay 1 cedi. After 80 kilogram, anything else you pay 4 cedi. What is government trying to do? It's trying to ration it so that an individual does not buy all the commodity and begin to sell it to you at a higher price, because he knows that the commodities are scarce. My question is, how does the budget look like? Think about it for a minute. 30 seconds, probably. We don't have a minute to spare. Beautiful. Now, look at this head. Go back. My income is this. I can buy this up to 80. After that, I buy this. This I buy 4, regardless of whatever I get. The budget now will be like this. Think about it. Look at it carefully, and I'll explain something, and I'll ask a question. If it was 1:1, because I have, look at the price. If it's 1:1, I have what's the name? P1 is equal to maybe 1. P2 is equal to 4. I can do my calculation. Or what about if it was P1 is equal to 4? I can do my calculation and get whatever I want. Here, for example, if you are here, it means X2 is 0. It means you devote all your income in buying X1. Remember, your income is 200. If the price is 4, then it is 200 divided by 4, which is 50. So if I devote all my income in buying X1, I'll buy 50. In the same manner, if I devote all my income in buying X2, remember, I won't use the lower one because that is a rational price. I am just doing the normal stuff. It will be also 4 divided by this, you get 50. That is if P1 is equal to 4. Please pay attention here. Here, rationality, rationing has not even been introduced. So if I'm here, because they are all the same price. So I can buy in between, determine where I want to be, whether I'm going to buy a goods here so that I can trace it here, then know how much I'm buying. Now, what if P1 is 1 throughout? If P1 is equal to 1 cedi, then with my income of 200, I can buy 200 units. And this will still be 50. So that's how come you see the straight line. If P1 is equal to 1, see no question? Or is there a question? Oh, okay, why would it be still 50? Remember, please pay attention here. P2 is 4. P1 is now 1 cedi. If I spend all my income, buying P2, how much can I can only buy 50 units. But 4 times 5 is what? It's equal to 200, which is equal to my income. And is equal to 200. Please, do you understand now why this is 50? If I spend all my income, good, thank you very much. At least I know I am making some progress. What if it is 1 cedi and I spend all my income buying it? To be 200. That's how come this is 200. If I want, I can say, okay. If I want, I can say, okay. Let's do it this way. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. If I want, I can say I want to be in between. Then I will determine where I will be. I can buy some quantity here. It depends. So what we are doing is we are just getting the extreme here. The extreme here. As to where you will be in the middle, it's up to you. It's up to the various combinations you want. When we were young, who's this? I don't know if so the Gen Zs and Gen Alphas and Co. What you do is you look at the amount of money you have. Then you go and tell the Gobe woman, I want this things, but please give me more, uh, give me more what? More Gary. Have you heard of that before? Give me more Gary, and then the Gobe woman will give you more Gary. Please just hold on for me. Let me just use a word. Okay, so let's move on. I repeat, as to the combination, it's up to you. You determine what combination you want. But for majority of us, we can decide to go. Nobody wants to buy all of this, all of that. And just as I said, when we're young, you buy Robert, the beans, and you say, they give you Gary, and you know you don't have money. So what do? You look for a very solid combination. And tell madam, please, I want more Gary. And what you do, she will add more Gary at an extra cost. Then she will show you then it to become so various combination can come in. When you are rich, you are going to buy Gobel. You say, oh, I want small Gary, more plantain and the rest. All these are combinations. It's the same thing we are depicting here. And just as one of the songs says, it says that I'm going to do literal translation. If the town is going to be sweet for you, Mr. Gentleman, it is up to your pocket. That is what the economics is saying. Rationality is up to you. Right? Good. Now, I like bringing this type of questions because it makes life very easy. What about if it's hybrid? Different pricing for different goods. After 80, you go in for this. Solve. Look at the curve. Look at how it has become. Let me give you just a second to look at it. A second to look at this. Please take your time. Also draw it and see. Take your time. So in rational assumptions, consumers are rational. Government during dry season is trying to ration goods. During wartime, there's no good in the market, so they are trying to ration it. In the 80s, we had a drought and it became severe. Government decided to ration food. What are we saying and what are we doing? Remember, I used the example of sugar. Should I use sugar and rice? If you remember, I use the example. There is abundance of sugar, so P was equal to 4. My income is equal to 200. So I could buy 50 of it. Government noticed that sugar, there is no problem. So you can still buy 50 if you decide to use all your income to buy sugar. Maybe you have some rice there. You're a rice farmer, so you save your rice before the drought. But rice is, X1 is rice, X2 is sugar. But rice is very, very scarce. Government is saying, please, P1 is equal to 1 cedi up to 80. So look at it carefully. Let's do a bit of arithmetic, not complex one. It is 1 times 80, which gives me what? 80 cedis. How much is my income? 200. How much do I have left? What I have left, please follow me, follow this arrow, is 200 minus 80, which is what? 120. And they are saying, from the analogy I gave, if you want to buy more, somebody has put something there. Yes, 120, and the wood, thank you. If you want to buy more, government is saying, I won't allow you to buy extra and go and sell it in the market for cheap. So what am I going to do? After 8 units, you will buy the rest at the normal price within the market, which is what? 40. So look at this, which is 4. So after 80, we have 120 left. Oh, my board is pasa, forgive me. So I have to move back to 4, which is what? Which is, hey, sorry, this is not 4. P2, which is 4 cedi. If I divide 4 by this, I'll have the quantity of X1 to be equal to what? 30. So it means that I can add 80 plus 30. That gives me 110. That is why this ends up at 110. Any question? Let me just give you a minute to stare at it and tell me if there are questions. A minute. Okay. So just take a look at it and tell me if there's a question, and then we'll move. If you cannot talk and you want to type too, please type. I'll read. Any question, please? Okay, I'm seeing something down. Please, that means that after 18, an extra purchase will cost a total of this. leaving my income with only this? No, no. No. So let me come back again. After 18, every extra purchase you make is 4 cedi. Let's go back to the question. Where's my mouse? So let's look at the second. So this is a preamble question. I think last year or last year when I taught them, I brought a similar question like this. If my memory serves me, no, we are calculating. So please remember, P2 fix. Let me give you a typical example. There is an abundance of, there's war, right? Which country is experiencing wars? Sudan or one of them?
Russia.
Russia. Okay, good. Russia, there is crisis over there. And you know they like to drink a lot of beer. And then they like pizza. Government is saying, okay, because of the bombing, there's shortage of pizza. So let's call pizza. Pizza. In fact, I just received a message from Pizza Inc. Love is better together. It says we'll get our love first. 1 medium size, 4 chicken, whatever. I thought they were trying to give it to me for free. Only for me to know that they were asking me to come and pay for it. So look at this. Pizza is what? So there's abundance of beer. As for beer, government is saying, okay, beer is 4 cedi. It won't change. So if I give you 200 and you want to spend all on beer, you buy your 50 beer. The money is finished. But because pizza is a food and there is war and we want everybody to get them, I'm going to price it at 1 cedi. So that if you buy up to 80 pizza, you still pay 1 cedi. If you buy 81, the one after the 80, you start paying 4 cedi. Anything after 80, you are paying 4 cedi, 4 cedi, 4 cedi, 4 cedi, 4 cedi. I go to the shop and I tell them, okay, I don't want any beer, which is my P2. I want to spend all my money on pizza. So whenever you see a graph like this, let me explain. Whenever it touches this line or this line, it's just telling you that you are spending all your income on a particular good without considering the other goods. So if it is X1, I'm spending all my income on X1. That's why it touches the line. If it's here, I'm spending all my income on what? X2. Anytime it touches the axis. So this gentleman goes and says, I am not interested in your so-called beer. I want food to survive. And they tell you, if you want food to survive, ladies and gentlemen, number 1, give me this. If you buy up to, government says, if you buy up to 80 pizza, you pay 1, whatever Russian, whatever one for it. let's assume Russians use cedis. You pay 1 cedi for it. So if I buy 80, I pay 80 cedis. But I need more than 80. Government is saying the excesses that you buy, you have to pay 4 cedi for each and every one. So Professor Asravor goes and says, okay, or Mr. Ajiman, or Mr. Nenebutri, or Mr. Osei goes and say, okay, or Mr. Enoch. I've forgotten the surname, but I remember Enoch. You all go and say, okay, please, we want pizza. We want to spend all our money on pizza. We can't use beer to survive. We'll say, okay, our first 80. If I go rate myself, if I buy 80, I'll pay 80 cedi because 1 is 1 cedi. Anything after 80, I'll pay 4 cedi for it. So if I take my 80 cedis from my income of 200, I am left with what? 120. That's what we had here. With my 120, how many pizza can I buy? Since now, anything in excess is going to cost me 4 cedi. So it is this 120 divided by 4. That gives us a 30. Remember, I have already paid for 80. I am now paying for what? 30. So when I add that, it becomes 110. This especially happens in a country where they have good address and ID card system, which are networked. Because if you don't have a good address and ID card system, if it is in Ghana, you can buy at Makola and then you drive your car to maybe Labadi and nobody will recognize that you bought it. That is why during the Champon regime and co, the market queens had a lot of goods compared to even the stores. Because they were well connected. They could move in between various vantage points to buy the goods. So you could get a supermarket where they didn't have anything. You go to a market and in a house, she has all the goods. But she was well connected. Right? And a famous Achampon slogan. Right? All that. So let's look at it. Have I explained it further? Do you understand? Is there a need for further explanation? Good. I'll give you. And these are typically what happens in most economies when there are wars and then there's drought and all that. Can we do it in Ghana? Yes, we can. If everybody has a national ID card. Which is linked to a common database, it's easier to do. That is another reason why they are trying to make the ID card very, very, very essential. So without it, you can't do bank transactions and all that. Why? Because we need to get the networks. Any question, please? Okay, so the same thing I've been trying to explain. Let's see. But generally, there's a general form where there's price discrimination across quantity. And that we must take a critical look at when there's price discrimination across quantities. And that is what you're going to know. But look at this. I want you to take a minute to read this because I'm going to use it to explain something. Just read it and then let me say something. So, ladies and gentlemen, it presupposes that whenever there's a price discrimination, such as price rationing, it makes the individual indirectly have higher income so that they can purchase more. And that is basically all that we have been saying. Why is that the case? Whenever there is price rationing or discrimination across quantity, what happens is government is not, or especially government takes control. Why? Because government is not interested in profit. It is interested in the welfare of the individual. So government will say, okay, I am only interested in the welfare. And then they do the calculations. We can go into what goes into those calculations. The government will say, if a minimum wage is this, what can the minimum wage buy? So that the individual will survive. And then we calculate and say, okay, after this, anybody who buys is not poor. But rather, the individual is just trying to profiteer. So let's charge higher. Now, please pay attention to the scenario here. X1 has a price of what? P prime for every unit of K. After it, it is paying what? A price of P1. Key indicator here. Please pay attention. This is the preamble of the whole case. And as for P2, we don't want to touch it. But there can be a simultaneity in both prices. And look at this. Because of that, we say that the individual is better off. Why is he better off again? If you were supposed to buy the product in the market, you would have paid 4 cedis. And you would have bought, so let me go back here. Look at this. If there was no drought or anything, you would have paid 4 cedi for it, or £4. Right, but let's use the cedi so that it makes a lot of Because if you are here, please look at it. P1 is 4 cedi. P2 is 4 cedi. If I spend all my income on P2, I'll buy 50. If I spend all my income on P1, this. But because government is saying there is drought and there is war and all that, buy P1 at 1 cedi, what you've noticed is that you are able to buy more. Indirectly, your income has increased. Because if I spend all my P1, which is now 1 cedi, I would have bought what? 200. Look at it. Initially, I was buying 50. If under normal market circumstance, now I would, if it's 1 cedi, I can buy what? 200. So can you see the increase? That's 150. Think about it. You would hear a lot of people in the economic circles. And when I teach students and I teach myself, sometimes I tend to join the bandwagon and I put my economic coach aside. But I ask myself, from where I stay, I used to, is the reduction in price reflected in my system? I used to say, but this thing, but then I going to do a calculation, and anytime I put my economic hat on, I realize that there's always a seed. For example, I used to buy data, right? How much was it? Is it 299 for 90 gig, right? Now it's 299 for 350 gig or so. Have I saved something yet? Did the money come into my pocket? As a typical Ghanaian, if I take away my economic hat, are they calling me from the school? As a typical Ghanaian, if I take away my economic hat, I will say no, because I didn't see the physical money. But as a as an economist, indirectly, I had benefited from the amount. Please give me a minute, right? They are calling me from the school. I don't know why this, maybe it's because of this exams thing. Yeah, Mike. Yes, please. No, I'm in class. Hello. Okay, sorry about that.
So,
Hello.
Sorry about that. I'm still there's a receipt exams going on, and I'm also the chief invigilator. So I wanted a question which I forwarded, I think, some time ago, by the way. They couldn't find it.
Doc, we
Okay.
hope the receipt is not economics.
Pardon me.
I said we hope the receipt is not economics.
Oh no, it's a general receipt for everybody.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a general receipt for everybody. So it's not only economics, but economic students are even one or two. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
IT staff that the guys are. Everybody wants to do IT, but they don't have the mental toughness to do IT. That's the problem they have.
All
Okay,
right.
move on. So it's not economics, don't worry. Okay, so let's move on. Wait, why is the cloud so dark? It's not so raining. Okay, so anytime, please, you see, I have very good friends who are politicians, and I always tell them, I don't trust them because they come and deceive us in public, and when they go and sit down and enjoy themselves. I used to be in a class, I used to have, one of my classes, there were two students, very opposed, but they were the best of friends. Peer politicians, by the way. So you see that under normal circumstance, you ask yourself, I don't, I, Nasikano, where's the money? But indirectly, you have benefited from it through a price reduction. Why do we do that? We do that because in the long run, when there were droughts and all those stuff, there is a need to ration the goods so that the poor can afford. Is there a way of taking the rich out? Sometimes the propensity or the elasticity for taking them out is even higher than including them. So you see that economics are always connected. So look at this. This was the initial. Then there was farming. Government is saying anything greater than the K is the 80 that we have put there, you have to pay. So how does the equation change? The equation is going to be P1 X1 minus K plus X. Let's start. P1 was what? Let me do P1. It's 4. P2 is equal to 4. P1 during the farming is 1. So that is the equation we have there. And when you put all together, it must be equal to your income. How do you go about this? Very, very simple. If I use all my income to purchase X2, it means if I use all my income to purchase X2, it means K will be equal to 0, X1 will be equal to 0. So you see that when we did the other one, it was 4, which is the price, times 50. Should give me my M. What if I use all my income to purchase pizza? Then it means that, look at the equation. This P2 or X2 will be equal to 0. Then it means that 1 times the K, which is 80, plus 4. What is this? Will be the remaining. So that will be our 30 that we had. And that's one will give you 80 plus 120, which is what? 300. So this is a very simple equation. Let's keep at the back of your mind. When it's becoming mathematical, you let me know. And you can do the other things. Any question? So you see, if you are in a certain circle, you must understand. There are three possible types of price ration. Then we have what we call three after a certain quantity, or we have what we call the bulk, or we have what we call the rationing itself. Three of them, depending on whichever one is applied. And this is targeted at price. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at this and I'm asking myself, what did the students make of this? Today is the first day, so I won't take you through. What time are we supposed to close? We are supposed to go on break and then come back when? I think we are supposed to go on break, come back in 30 minutes, and then come and do an hour or so, and then we'll move. But I am not going to take you through the whole, I would give you something to go and think about. Ladies and gentlemen, I would take a few minutes, stop, and ask you to continue, and so that we can close. But again, I wanted us to think about it. Together with your class rep, think about it. I was telling the coordinator of the program that I think that we need an extra hour at your own convenience in the evening. It's not compulsory, just that I want you to grasp the thing so that I don't necessarily rush. You need to understand the economic principles and the concept. Very key, so that when at your level, there is an economic argument going on, you can sit back, fold your arm, and start clapping. Especially, you heard the buzz about inflation. And then as economists say, about inflation and the prices are not. But what is inflation? See, you must begin to analyze it as economists. Don't be a political destiny. Inflation simply means the general prices of goods and services are rising at a slower rate. Now you see, we expect that inflation, and what we expect, then we have what we call de-inflation, disinflation, and all that. You must understand the concept. So let's take our time. I want you to get the concept so that you don't, for those of you who are politicians, one day I'll see you on the screen, and then when you are talking, I don't want to bow my head and say, this wasn't my good student. So please, let's take it at the beginning. And please, as economists, I'll tell you this. And from my years, that's why I don't go on television. I don't like it one bit. I do my microanalysis. When you're arguing, argue from an economic point of view. If you're a politician and you're arguing, you can argue from a political point of view. And as economists, always argue from an economic point of view. And you will be very, very sought after. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that said, let's go back to our budget. Take a minute to look at this and tell me what you see. A minute, a minute, a minute, a minute. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I've entered into your time, but let's see how it goes. So please, I want to just finish this so that when we close, you can have enough break before your next class. Is it okay? If you permit me. And the weather is even. For those of you who are out, please stay safe. It seems the weather is threatening to rain. So the budget line is this, and this is called partial subsidy. I want to end here because I need to take my time to explain this. So let me end here, and then I would send some assignment. Please let me also leave you. I think somebody has also joined. There's a Samsung S something something something. There's a Samsung S something something. So please let's pay attention here. Now please listen. At the micro level, we are dealing with households. Very, very critical. And please do not mess them up. Okay, that's the lady among us. Please, you're welcome, my dear. Veronica. At the micro level, we are dealing with households. And remember, households must make rational decisions. So these are some of the things that we do. Again, look at this carefully. This kink thing is what you see in whatever we've done. Remember this. From the basic mathematics I've been doing it to this and then to this complex thing. What are we saying? We are minimizing x2. And this is a whole minimization problem. I won't worry you so much about this because anytime economists begin to talk about mathematics, then dry bones begins to shake. So I'm going to take a lot of the mathematical consequences out. But I'll break the mathematics down to the simplest and the barest minimum so that you understand. With the exception of who did, somebody did accounts and then math. He can understand this. But we those who did not do accounts and maths and who do not like mathematics, like myself, I always put myself in the shoes of my students who don't like mathematics. So not those who like mathematics. This is how it goes. So what about free provision up to a mixed quantity? So I'm going to stop here, just as I said. Next week, no, let's try and fix a day in the week. And then just 1 hour, we'll go through the rest. I'll send you this material. And then we'll do the book off. Buy one, get one free. That's the whole thing. Buy one, get one free. Right? And we'll try and do it and look at the equation. Then the endowment income will come and look at that. And then the effect of a price increase. Effect of this borrowing and savings. Then we'll come and do the intertemporal budgeting. And then savings and borrowing rates. We'll come and look at that. What about the budget line for leisure and choice? We'll come and do all that. So I'm going to end here. Over time, we will do that. And then these are typical examples. And then we would be done with this. So please, let's agree on a date. You can get in touch with me. And because I do have a lot of students, sometimes when you call, just mention where I know you, and then I would gladly do that. So among yourself, please elect a class rep, and I'll create a platform from there so that everybody can join. Then we can have a communication. I just want you to get the economic foundation. After this, we'll do preference. And after preference, we can move on from there. Any question? Any question? Any addition, any subtraction? Please, my number is whether it's changing or not. My number is let me just put it in the chat so that you can call me anytime. I might not remember, so just tell me where I know you from. Probably you are my MSc student in this, and then gladly 02465198993. I'm gonna be sure. Yes. Yes, the reference book. I will send you the reference book as well. So the reference book is, you can get Kuchianis. You can have Kuchianis will be one key. You can have variants.
Prof,